Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. All right, Erev Tov, everyone. Let's continue the halachot. We're on Klal Vav of the Chafetz Chaim, Halacha Zayin. He writes the following: Veda, be aware. Dikshem shekatavnu b'shem haposkim, demin haTorah asur le'amin divnei genut shemesaprim ha'chavreim. Just like we wrote above, that it's biblically not allowed to accept or believe derogatory information about what people say about their friends. Ken hadin, the same law applies. Afilu im yodea she'advarim shesiper lo hu emet. Even if Levi already knows, so Levi hears from Reuven what Shimon did, Levi already knows that it's true. And it's still Lashon Hara to listen to it. Ach yesh ba'em letzaded lechan ulchad. If Shimon's actions could be interpreted in one of two ways, either in a negative light or a positive light, ve'amesaper lo dan oto lekaf chov. And Reuven judges Shimon in a negative light, and through that he disparages Shimon. Then it's forbidden for Levi to listen in that situation. We know it's a mitzvah for anyone listening to judge the person favorably. As this is what the Gemara Masechet Shavuot says. And it's also, according to many poskim, a positive Torah commandment to judge favorably. And if one violates this and listens to what Reuven said about Shimon, and doesn't give him benefit of the doubt, and instead concurs with how Reuven disparaged Shimon, not only has he transgressed the mitzvah of judge your fellow favorably, but he's also considered an acceptor of Lashon Hara. Because by not judging Shimon favorably, Reuven, his account has been adopted by Levi. Halacha Chet. Everything that we've written about a Jew giving another Jew a benefit of the doubt applies. Even if the derogatory account was made about an average person. Who is careful to avoid sin, but sometimes he stumbles. Certainly, if the disparaging comment was about a God-fearing man, regarding who for sure this mitzvah of judge your fellow favorably applies all the more so, like the Rambam explained in chapter 1 of Perkei Avot. And someone who violates this commandment, and by judging a God-fearing person unfavorably, and concurs with the derogatory statements, certainly transgresses the prohibition of believing Lashon Hara. Before the Chafetz Chaim goes into a long Haggah, there is a scenario here that we'll read out. A neighbor moves out of town suddenly, telling everyone that he has a new job that is starting right away. Another neighbor questions the reason for the move and disparagingly remarks to his friends, it seems like he was run out of town. Even though you were aware of the move, this new negative interpretation is Lashon Hara. Okay. Now, let's talk, the Haggah here in the Chafetz Chaim, usually this is when he likes to let loose with things that are on his mind, and I don't think this is going to be any different. He writes here in his an introduction, a common example of someone who listens to a negative report about a righteous person and must judge him favorably occurs when he's approached by someone who has lost a court case. The individual will often speak negatively of the Rav or the Bet Din who ruled against him, and the listener is required to judge that Rav or Bet Din favorably. Let us now discuss something which a lot of people stumble with. Be'inyan kabbalat lashon hara, beli re'ot, concerning accepting lashon hara without even realizing it. Let me describe you a case. And the intelligent reader can apply what I'm saying to all situations. והוא מה שמצוי כשאחד יוצא מבית דין חייב. Let's say Reuven leaves bet din found liable. Reuven has to pay Shimon $500. והוא מספר לחברו ומסדר דברי זכותו לפניו לאמור. He will tell his friend Shimon in defense and lay out his arguments as follows. Okay, maybe he didn't pay Shimon. Okay, let's say he has to owe Levi $500. But he tells Shimon, you can see how I'm really right and the law is on my side. The bet din gave the wrong ruling. Had my case been given to the other rabbi, who's known to be wise, he would surely know that I was right. And wouldn't have issued a ruling so inverted and so incorrect. ומדבר עוד על בית דין, עבור זה דברי חירופין וגידופין. Reuven then starts scorning this בית דין and arguing against them. אשר אין להעלות על הכתב, right, language that we can't even put into writing. ואם חברו משיבו, let's say Shimon's the one hearing this. If he responds, אינני מאמין שיפסקו כן. I don't believe that the court would issue such a ruling. Yomar lo, Reuven will say, Re'et hapsak, ukra oto etev. Here, look at the ruling and read it. V'tireh be'atzmecha, shelo bedat u'besker na'asa. You will see what they did was illogical. It was thoughtless. Ve'hu mar'eh et hapsak. And Reuven shows Shimon the ruling, ve'koreh oto. Shimon reads it, pa'am acharei pa'am, over and over again. Uv'chol pa'am hu mitpaleh yoter. Each time, he's bewildered at the ruling that the Bet Din gave. Umotze gam ken be'apsak. Shimon also then finds the ruling devarim shelo niru lo lefi dato, certain matters which might feel incorrect. Kayadua shepiskei ba'alei batim enam shavim lepiskei Torah kedusha. As you know, the halachic conclusions among laymen, regular, I guess, Jews, cannot be compared or agreement to those of the Torah. Ad shenechlat be'enei shnehem. This dialogue then continues until both people agree and conclude that rabbi, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That bet din doesn't know what they're doing. It only is a matter of time before they both agree on the same thing. Let's go back to our discussion. Take note how Shimon, by accepting this Lashon Hara of Reuven, has violated the negative commandment of don't bear a false report. And he's also transgressed the positive commandment of judge your fellow favorably. As well as other negative commandments that we spoke about in the introduction. If Shimon followed the proper way of the Torah, what should he have done? If somebody like Reuven approaches him with a similar matter, he would understand that he's certainly obligated, if at all possible, not only to reject the report, but to expel any grievance from his heart. So that he should not have any complaints on the bet din. And he would lay out before Reuven various arguments why Reuven probably needed to pay. Which will demonstrate how there's nothing corrupt in the bet din, God forbid. For they issued their ruling as per the Torah guidelines. The Gemara tells us, Masechet Nida, a judge can only see what he has nothing except for what his eye sees. All right, whatever he sees, the evidence, the witnesses that come in front of him. All right, that's what the proofs that he has. So if someone fails to prove otherwise, what do you expect the bet din to do? The bet din is correct. This is what they have. Reuven should be told that it also happens on many occasions, even if the truth is with, let's say, party A. Hashem decided in Shamayim that party B was going to win the court case for reasons only known to Hashem. And yes, sometimes this does happen. As is mentioned in Masechet Brachot, which says if you see a wicked person that is being successful or has good fortune, it's also brought down Masechet Megillah, don't antagonize him. Don't provoke him. Because, yes, this guy's wicked, but for some reason Hashem wants him to win all these court cases and he's very successful in certain things. Velo od ela shezoche badin, he will emerge victorious in court. Shneimar maro mishpatecha minegdo. Your judgments are far removed from him, meaning we don't really know how Hashem judges things in Shamayim. Ve'efshar, another reason why Reuven should not blame Bet Din for whatever happened to him. Maybe it's possible Reuven's bad fortune caused him to lose. The Rosh writes down, and Shimon should console Reuven also and say, don't worry about your laws. If indeed you are right, and this money is deserved to you, and you feel that the Bet Din was wrong, Hashem will compensate you. You'll get that money back. Like the Chachamim write in the Gemara Masech Sanhedrin, not only if this is talking with regards to a dayan, a judge who misinterpreted the law or gave the wrong decision, then Hashem is bothered because now I have to go and find a way to get this $500 back into the hands of the guy who was wrongfully taken from. So that's what Shimon should be doing to Reuven when he's reiterating his discontent. Also words of consolation, to dispel anguish from his heart, and drive away the resentment towards Bedin. Let's say Shimon sees that whatever he says to Reuven is not going to work. Reuven's just not listening. He shall at least strengthen himself not to accept what Reuven is saying. Because Reuven is giving derogatory comments about the municipal Bet Din. This is because the prohibition of accepting Lashon Hara and the mitzvah to judge your fellow favorably is said even if you said it about a regular Jew. Certainly, if the person is established in the city as a Talmid Chacham, or he's a member of the Bet Din, so why aren't you judging favorably? If we're meant to judge favorably to even the regular guy, certainly when it comes to the Talmid Chacham or the Bet Din, with regards to a Torah scholar, remember we learned this a few weeks ago, that when it comes to a Talmid Chacham, even if there's more reason to think that he's guilty, but there's a slight reason to say that he's innocent, you have to judge him lekaf zechut. This conforms with what the Gemara says in Masechet Brachot, that again, if you see a Talmid Chacham at night performing a sin, then you have to assume already by the next morning he's done teshuvah. All the more so in this case where Reuven is complaining about the judgment he received in court, where the prospect that the court acted properly is much more likely. It's known to everybody who is aware of Torah law. Oftentimes, you think one court case is similar to the one that comes right afterwards, but there's just one claim or one piece of evidence that's different that will make the Dayanim judge differently. And even if Shimon is a great Talmid Chacham listening to Reuven complain, and he feels that based on these arguments that Reuven is saying, that maybe Reuven is right. He should still consider the possibility, maybe Reuven failed to give these arguments. Maybe he forgot to say this line in front of Bedin. And again, Bedin only has what they have in front of him. And only now, after leaving the court with this ruling that he didn't like, now that he lost, he's upset, so he's going to blame everybody. The ruling is with this. There are many ways to interpret the ruling favorably than unfavorably. even if Shimon carefully considers all the angles, ve'eno al bedin shum zechut, and still finds no reason to give bedin the benefit of the doubt, still, in kol ze min haTorah asur leachlit aleim lomar she'enam yodim heach lifsok dinei Torah. Okay, so Shimon really believes that Reuven is right. He really gets it. Okay, I can't see any, but you're still asur to say that these guys don't know anything. Ela yesh lelech el Rav or bedin. But rather, what should he do? He should go back to the Rav or the Bedin, v'nidrosh meitam matam. Say, listen, Rabbi, my friend Reuven, he was unhappy, he came out of court, he said he didn't understand why he didn't get the $500. Okay, can you please explain to me like how it worked? V'nidrosh meitam matam. Give him the reason. Uchmamaram be'avot, like it says in Perkei Avot, al tadin et chaverecha ad shetagia limkomo. Don't judge your fellow until you are in his position. Maybe the rabbi is going to tell Shimon, yeah, you think that's the story, but that's not what really happened in court. Or maybe the rabbi will show Shimon the reasoning why. The source where he got his decision. Maybe the rabbi will admit that he made a mistake. Yes, that could even happen. We will find even the Amoraim in the Gemara made a mistake. They go back and they say, you're right, really the halacha is like him. And they retracted them. Like this course of action is what the Torah tells us. Rebuke your fellow, but don't bear sin of him. And what does the Rambam say? One who feels that he was wronged by his fellow has to approach him and say, hey, why did you do this to me? Well, or and in this case of the Bedin, why is it that you ruled to that he has to give $500 when it doesn't seem to be the right case, the right law? And not bear a grudge in his heart. We'll conclude with this: one who does not follow these guidelines. That means he decides after hearing his friend's story, and they're saying that it was a mistake, without investigating the hadavar me'abedin atzmam, you're just going to say that they're mistaken, they don't know anything, and you're not going to go and actually ask the rabbi why he was posek like that. You're transgressing several prohibitions. Ubifrat, most importantly, the prohibition of accepting lashon hara, and the commandment of don't bear a sin because of him. The Perush Rambam, according to how the Rambam explained it. Anybody who gives a person the benefit of the doubt, or the bedin the benefit of the doubt, then he will merit danino to min hashamayim lekaf zechut. The heavens, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, will judge him favorably when it comes his turn for judgment. We'll stop here and we'll continue next week.